This is Masechah Sanhedrin daf Gimel Amud Aleph, the beginning of the third parak, parak Zeborer. And the parak begins with the Mishnah, Dinei Mamonos B'Shlosha, that monetary cases of law of Beit in court and Beit Din requires 3 judges. Ze Borer Lo Echad, one litigant chooses 1 judge. Ze Borer Lo Echad, and the other litigant chooses the other judge. Ushnehem, and the 2 of them together, Borin Lahem Od Echad, together choose the 3rd judge. Both litigants together choose the 3rd judge. David Rav Meir, that's the view of Rav Meir. V'chachamim omrim, and the chachamim say Shnei Dayanim Borin Lahem Od Echad. The chachamim say that no, that the first 2 judges are chosen unilaterally, each by each litigant, but the 3rd judge is chosen not by the 2 litigants together, but rather by the 2 judges together. Zeh posel dayano shel zeh, v'zeh posel dayano shel zeh. Each litigant can disqualify each other's judge. Divrei Rav Meir, v'chachamim omrim, and the chachamim say, Eimasai b'zman shemevi aleihem raya shem krovim apsulim. The only time that they can disqualify is if they can actually bring a proof that they are related or otherwise invalid. But if they're valid judges, or experts based on the high court, the Gemara will explain this in detail. There's a case where they can each disqualify the other's witnesses. Rav Meir, that's the view of Rav Meir. The Chachamim say the same thing. It's only if they are, you can prove that they are invalid. But if they are indeed valid witnesses, they cannot be disqualified. These last 2 cases of the Mishnah of disqualifying judges and witnesses clearly needs further elaboration in the Gemara. For now, we're going to drop down to the beginning of the wide lines on this page and focus on the beginning of the Mishnah of what we call Zabla, Zeborer Lo Dayan Echad, the system of judges where the litigants choose the judges. Ma'ishna da'avdi hachi, in the middle of the middle of the first wide line. Ma'ishna da'avdi hachi, why do we do it in this unusual way? Amri b'marava mishmei Reb Zera, they said it in the west, in Eretz Yisrael, in the name of Reb Zera, mitoch shezeh borer lo dayan echad, because since in this way one litigant unilaterally chooses 1 judge, zeh borer lo dayan echad, and the other litigant unilaterally chooses his other judge, ushnehem borim lemod echad, and together they choose the 3rd, yetzei hadin la'amito, the judgment will come out to its truth. And there the Gemara concludes. Rashi tries to explain how it is that, what the Gemara means to say, how it is that the system creates the result of Yetzei Hadin La'amito. Rashi says, firstly, the Tzaisti Ba'alei Dinim, the Ba'alei Dinim, the litigant, will listen to the judgment. The Savar HaChayev, the one who loses and has to pay, will think, I unilaterally chose my judge, and if he could have found a way to advocate better for my position, he was looking out for me. So firstly, the litigants feel that their voice is heard in the decision because they know that they had 1 judge that they chose. And the judges themselves are inclined to advocate for each of their litigants, since they were chosen by both of them. Tosfot more or less says something similar to Rashi, but add to the end, Hashlishi, Shemitoch Shabira Lo Shalo V'zeh Shalo Hashlishi Yetzei Hadin La'amito Below Ivut, that the judgment will come out without being bent. Sheheya Inyan Shakol, because it will be completely even. V'lo Yarbu Mahapchin L'chova Al Mahapchin L'schus Lo L'hefech. The reason for this, the advantage of this system is that we're guaranteed that it's even and it's not tilted one way or the other, because there's this correction mechanism that since they each chose their judges, we know that everyone was equally represented. So it seems that on the one hand, the advantage is that the litigants are more accepting of the judgment, but also the judgment itself is qualitatively better because of the fact that you have this adversarial relationship within the judges, each advocating for their own side. The Rosh elaborates on Rashi and says, "Mipnei, since," in Siman Beis in the Rosh, "sheyesh chesrei da'at Torah midivei Rashi." There are people who lack understanding, v'lemedin mimenu, and they interpret from Rashi. Shadayan, that a judge, yesh lo lahapech b'schus oso shebirer v'omei b'makomo, that people interpret Rashi to think that the judge who is chosen by a certain litigant has to really advocate for him, l'chapot b'dvarim asher lo kedin, to actually conceal things illegally. V'nahagu, and became the practice, kama anashim, of many people, livra lahem ba'al tachbulot, people who can scheme. V'nitlim b'divrei Rashi, and they rely themselves on Rashi, or they base themselves on Rashi. Shemashma sheyesh lo lahapech b'schuso. So Rashi said that they should really advocate. V'chalila v'chas lo diktiku. God forbid they were not careful in understanding with varav Rashi's words. Shechatav, Rashi says, the savrei hare ani birarti. They'll say, I chose them. Ki hu sover kach. Rosh says that Rashi should be interpreted to be explaining the mentality of the litigant. That this is all about what the litigant will think. Sheyahapech b'zchuto yoter mib'zchut ha'acher u'mitoch zeh tzaytei l'dinehem. The Rosh interprets Rashi that it's all about the mentality of the litigants, why they will actually listen to the judgment. But the judge himself, God forbid, the litigant must only advocate arguments that he actually believes in. But if he had the ability to deceive his colleagues, to accept his logic, even though he himself does not think it's correct, this is distorting judgment and justice. But since he was chosen, what Rashi means, what the Gemara means, is that the judges, since they were chosen and have a relationship with the litigants, really understand their point of view. If he had any argument that legitimately justified his litigants, he would bring it forward. Nothing will be forgotten, nothing will be overlooked, everything will be brought up. And this is the same thing that the other judge will do, l'sheni, for the other. The result will be that no argument or perspective will be left unexamined. Vashlishi, and the third judge, Shomea Masa Matan Shoshahem, will listen to the back and forth of the two judges, Machriya Beinayim, and he will be the deciding vote, based on full knowledge of all arguments for either side. And therefore it will be actually truthful.